Did you know that according to a 2023 Experian report, the average individual consumer owes over $104,000? That includes everything from credit cards to mortgages. It's a staggering amount, right?
Whoa, $104,000. That really puts things into perspective. So are we diving into the world of debt and how it impacts our retirement plans today?
Absolutely. Let's talk about the types of debts you should clear before retiring to ensure a stress-free future. First on the list is mortgage loans. I mean, living debt-free during retirement sounds like a dream, doesn't it?
Completely. I've always heard that paying off your mortgage before retirement brings a huge sense of relief and security. Got any insights or stories on this?
Actually, I do. Alan McNabb, Vice President of Image Building Media, shared how liberating it was when he paid off his mortgage in 2023. He described it as a weight lifting off his shoulders.
That must have been an incredible feeling. I can imagine not having to worry about such a large payment every month. So, how does paying off a mortgage early really impact your finances?
Well, I ran some numbers. For instance, with the current average mortgage rate at 6.77% over 30 years, if you're eyeing retirement in 15 years, you'd save a substantial amount in interest by paying it off early.
Now, let's understand with an example of what your monthly and total payment could look like on such a home loan, excluding things like taxes, insurance, and HOA fees. Let's Google search for an EMI calculator for easy calculations. Let's assume your cost of home is $520,000, and you put forth a 20% down payment of $104,000, leaving you with a $416,000 loan. This amount is the balance principal amount you need to pay, which will be divided into monthly EMIs for the tenure you choose to repay. So let's fill the cells with given figures. The principal amount is $416,000. The loan tenure is 30 years, and the interest is 6.77%.
You see in this example, the total principal amount over 30 years would be $416,000, while the total interest paid would be $557,332. That's $973,332 including interest. And your monthly payment or EMI would be roughly $2,704, which includes principal and interest.
Now, say you cut that loan tenure down to 15 years. Assuming you are 15 years away from your retirement, or you want to repay fast. So let's fill the cells with the modified figures. The principal amount is $416,000. The interest is the same, 6.77%, and modify the loan tenure as 15 years.
You see, the total principal amount over 15 years remains the same. That's $416,000. And the total interest payable is $247,451. Your total payment would be $663,451 including interest. And your monthly EMI would be roughly $3,686, which includes principal and interest.
The total amount paid over 30 years could be roughly $973,000, but cutting that to 15 years would save you hundreds of thousands in interest.
That's a huge difference. It just shows how long-term loans really add up. But what about those who might be considering shorter loan terms?
Good question. Say you reduce your mortgage from 30 years to 10.
The principal amount is $416,000. The interest is the same, 6.77%, and modify the loan tenure as 10 years.
Now you see, that's $416,000 toward the principal and $157,713 toward interest. Your total payment would be $573,713 including interest. And your monthly EMI is now increased to $4,781, which includes principal and interest.
Your monthly payments would increase, but you would save massively on interest, around $573,730 total paid, compared to $973,332.
Right, the moral of the story is, the sooner you pay off your mortgage, the more you save, and the less you stress about retirement finances.
Exactly.
This proves that the more time you take to pay off your loans, the more interest will be levied. Since you are getting more time to repay, you will end up paying more every month. So it's better to increase your EMI amount and eventually decrease your loan tenure. Pay off your loans as soon as possible and be debt-free sooner.
Just imagine, if you pay off your loan early, freeing up that $2,704 a month for the remaining years can ease you into your desired retirement lifestyle and help your retirement funds stretch much further.
In your case, you will have to calculate the balance principal amount by deducting the total principal amount already paid before from the total loan taken. Then you too can calculate your EMIs for the loan tenure you are comfortable in.
Next, let's touch on auto loans. These are another big-ticket item with potentially high interest rates.
I've heard those can eat away at your monthly budget. How critical is it to clear these before retiring?
Very important. McNabb mentioned how beneficial it was to retire without any car payments. Take this scenario. If you finance a $20,000 car over 5 years at a 7% APR, you end up paying over $3,000 just in interest.
And that's money that could be going into a retirement fund instead. Plus, having a fixed income during retirement means every dollar counts.
Precisely. Finally, let's not forget the notorious credit card debt. The average interest rate is a whopping 22.8%.
Wow, that's almost double from a decade ago. Credit cards seem like such an easy way to accumulate debt.
They really are. McNabb emphasized the importance of clearing this debt because high interest rates can significantly reduce your savings.
Absolutely. Those interest payments can really add up, especially when you're trying to enjoy retirement stress-free.
So, what are some strategies for paying off these debts before retirement?
Several. You could cut back on expenses, follow the debt snowball or debt avalanche methods, or even increase your income to tackle those debts faster.
Each of these strategies can provide a pathway to financial freedom, even if you've already retired or are close to it.
The key takeaway here is to be disciplined and prioritize paying off what stresses you the most, whether it's financial or emotional.
Exactly. Well, that wraps up today's episode. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember to follow or subscribe for more insightful discussions.
Thanks for listening, everyone. This is Adam and Susie signing off. Goodbye.